Leon Panetta is not a competent man to run the CIA, in my opinion. New York City, WOR. Gary, welcome to the program.
Dr. Savage.
Yes.
I generally agree with you when it comes to the Israeli-Hamas conflict or anything involving that part of the country, basically. However, there is one thing that you said earlier that I have to disagree with you about, and that is you said that you think the Palestinian people don't want the Nazis that are in charge of Hamas, that they're not to blame. They're the ones who elected Hamas in the first place. So I actually do think many of the Palestinians people are actually to blame for that.
Well, you could put it that way. You could say that if they elected a murderous leadership that's committed to the destruction of Israel, then they have to live with the consequences. I think that's what you're arguing, aren't you?
That's exactly what I'm arguing. I mean, I don't want.
Well, then it becomes the issue of that there's no such thing as a civilian during a time of war. That's been Hamas's position towards Jews. They've said that all Israelis are soldiers. They've said all Israelis are targets. They've said it for years.
Right.
Their position is every Israeli is a target. Man, woman, and child has been their target. They say every Zionist is a target, correct?
That's correct.
So when the shoe falls on the other foot, suddenly the Quakers are out in the street, belly aching and crying. Suddenly there's only a humanitarian crisis when Arabs are dying.
Right. But there was a choice that was put to the Palestinian people a few years ago. They could have had Fatah, who wanted peace with Israel and have a two nation solution to try and come to some kind of a compromise, or they could have had Hamas, whose charter is the destruction of Israel. And
well, you have to ask, look, Gary, here's the thing to remember. Despite all of the hue and cry going on now with the radical left in America and around the world, largely communists, socialists, and such fellow travelers, by the way, with a few deluded folks in between, most of the world is frankly not paying that much attention to the Israeli incursion into Hamas land. And the reason is they want Hamas wiped off the planet. That includes Egypt, or else Egypt's armies would have been marshaled by now. That includes Syria, which is also threatened by Hamas, or they would have been at war with Israel by now. That includes Jordan. That includes virtually every nation on the earth. There's not one nation has said, Israel, get out or we'll go to war with you. Why is that? Ask yourself why everybody seems to be looking the other way while crying crocodile tears over this. They're thanking Israel for doing this, in my opinion.
Exactly. This is the biggest joke, if you want to call it that, going. The truth is that most of the Arab governments, the governments themselves, do want Israel to crush Hamas. They'll never say it publicly.
That's correct, because if we remember Anwar Sadat, who was a great man of peace, made peace with Israel. He got the Sinai Desert back from the Israelis, and he was killed shortly thereafter by the Muslim Brotherhood, which is a sister or cousin organization to Hamas. I do not believe that Hosni Mubarak wishes to see history repeated in his country by encouraging a radical faction of Islam to flourish in Egypt. And the same goes for the king of Jordan. The same goes even for Syria. None of them want Hamas to win here.
No, absolutely not.
Well, let's go to the big Knish in the sky. Why is it that Iran, who has been threatening Israel's existence for well over 2 years or more now, since Ahmadinejad, the mad jihadist, took over Iran, why has Iran done nothing during this Israeli incursion into Gaza when it was the Iranians who have been supplying the missiles to the Hamasniks? Why has Iran done nothing?
Why has Iran done nothing?
Yes.
Are you suggesting that Iran, you think, is... I'm not really sure what you're saying on that one.
Well, I'm asking another question. Egypt's done nothing. Syria's done nothing. Jordan's done nothing. Why has Iran done nothing, basically? Nothing. Mild lip service. They said they want to raise up volunteers to go fight Israel, but really that means nothing. Why has Iran not marshaled any military reaction to Israel's incursion into Gaza? I have an answer to that question.
Yeah, I'm wondering I'm thinking that they just don't want to get involved in a conflict with Israel at this time.
I believe Iran is scared of Israel. I believe that despite shooting their mouths off, they're terrified that Israel right now, which has been provoked into action, is ready to act against Iran at the same time. I believe their own intelligence tells them that they're next.
I agree with you 100%. And I think that the oil situation that we had a while ago with the price of oil, I think Israel, if they were considering attacking Iran, probably was concerned about the world oil supply and the price of oil going through the roof at that point when the prices were much higher. But now,
Right, and right now oil's in the toilet. What, $40 a barrel or thereabouts, from $150 a barrel. So yeah, you could argue this isn't a bad time, and Iran knows that as well.
Right, exactly.
All right, so it's geopolitical questions are complex. We know that. But if you think, or excuse me, if people think that diplomats know more than the average intelligent person does, they're mistaken. Diplomats often know less. They're bureaucrats, they're hacks, they read position papers, they can't think. I think we know as much as they do, if not more. And the reason that Iran is doing nothing is because Iran is afraid Israel will attack them next. You know, Israel has such bad publicity right now that it wouldn't matter if they did lob a few into the Iranian nuclear facilities. The world would hate Israel, what, 1% more?
The world is going to hate Israel no matter what they do anyway.
That's right. To the world, the only good Jew is a dead Jew.
That's definitely true.
Thank you for the call. I'll be right. No, I'm not going to come right back. I'm going to stay right on the air. 1-800-449-8255.